and welcome to another video. I'm Nico.
And I'm Jack.
And we decided to do another podcast style, a little bit like our highs and lows. And we've decided to do it on location.
Yep, so we're in this lovely canal today. There's quite a lot of background noise. You can hear the sound of fountains.
Yeah.
There's lots of people.
And also there's lots of mosquitoes. I'm very itchy, so
It's going to be challenging filming conditions. But I think that leads us into what we're going to talk about today, which is...
ironically, filming in China, which we obviously have quite a lot of experience with because we've been filming now...
for 3 years in China.
In China mainly, making YouTube videos. So I think we're pretty pro at this.
Yeah, we've definitely got a few stories to tell. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely got a few stories. So let's get started. And first of all, I want to talk about some hilarious YouTube comments that I get about filming in China. Lots of people have an opinion on it, obviously.
I'm sure they do.
we live in China. But most things that come across is the fact that most people think it's fake.
Fake? What do you mean by fake?
We can't possibly film in China because obviously, it's a communist country, right?
Ooh,
scary China. Can't possibly film there. And the fact that some people have actually accused me of hiring actors.
Hiring actors? Wow.
Here's one right now. And I was talking about you
with
with that response. Wow. Hiring actors. Some people have even said it was CGI.
CGI, wow. I mean,
yeah, so funny. That really cracks me up, right?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I feel like we don't really need to say too much more about that because I'm sure anyone who's seen our videos hopefully get a feeling that they're pretty real.
Yeah, how could we possibly be fake? That would cost us so much money, and we don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I mean, if we did, that would be awesome.
If we did, we'd have more than 26,000 followers on YouTube, I think.
And I wouldn't be spending my money on extras.
Right, exactly. So leading on from that and how it obviously isn't fake, I think because one thing which I've noticed here is obviously everybody is on their phones here.
Yeah,
All the time, which isn't a bad thing. It's just something that I've noticed, which obviously means a lot of people are taking photos and a lot of people are filming themselves because everybody films everything here.
Yeah, that's totally true. It's just such a big part of life, isn't it, filming?
Yeah, people just walk down the street and film quite mundane things as well.
Lots of live streaming goes on.
Yes, lots of live streaming because China has its own social media, so it has a lot of different media outlets that you've probably never watched or seen because it's here in China.
Yep.
For instance, TikTok, which is obviously getting banned. It's a touchy subject, but that started here in China,
Yep.
People love to film things. People love to take take pictures. Actually, what I've noticed is how great the photographer's game is here. They have such a good selfie game and such a good photography game. And you see these old aunties and they all have a pose that they can do.
That's very true.
They know exactly how they're going to take photos. Chinese people are the best at taking photos.
Yeah, their selfie game is very strong, I must say. If you go to any touristic site, people are going to be taking high quality selfies, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So there's loads of people always filming here and always taking photos. So it's just everyday life here. So I'm shocked that people just find it so weird that we can film because obviously we can film. I mean, we can't film everywhere, obviously, because...
Yes, that's very true.
There are some places that you can't film, but I'm sure that's probably the same in most countries, right?
Yeah, for sure. If you were in the US, I'm sure if you were in LA or something like that, people are always going to be shutting you down if you've got a camera out because they think you're going to be filming a proper film that you need permits for and stuff. So
yeah, good point. So, I mean, when we film, what's difficult is we have quite a big setup. And I think it's quite obvious when we're filming because we don't just have a selfie stick and a phone or a selfie stick and a camera and I'm filming myself. You have
I normally have a gimbal, right? So
yeah, and I've got mic on and it looks really obvious. So that's probably one reason that we can't get away with it so everywhere. But what I think is really weird is the places that we have got told off on.
Yep.
For instance, we got wrong in Sanlitun, and I don't know if you're familiar with this area, but the outdoor mall Taikoo Li, right?
Yep.
Taikoo Li, we got told off there, which I find...
There's just an old woman just doing a very heavy clearing of her throat. She just spat on the floor, just wiping it away with her foot right now.
Right beside us.
Yeah.
We'll get onto that in a minute. But so what I find really ironic about getting told off in Taikoo Li is like that area is just filled, like absolutely filled with street photographers. They're there all the time and they take pictures of people shopping, which I find bizarre anyway. But we got wrong for filming. I find it odd.
Double standards, I'd say.
Yeah,
Double
maybe.
standards.
I don't know. Where else have we got? Oh, we got wrong in Tianjin that time. So I don't know if you've been to the Binhai Library. When you go inside the library...
Yeah, you're not allowed to film at all in there.
No.
Which seems a shame because, I mean, it's probably one of the bigger touristic sites in Tianjin, but for whatever reason, you are not allowed to film anything, even a YouTube video or anything, which I think is kind of a missed opportunity because at the end of the day, all we want to do really is just show off China to the world.
Yeah,
but
exactly. I'm sure it's not just us either.
Oh, no, it's not just us, but
There's
I think
no cameras
we're just a
allowed.
typical example of that, I guess.
I mean, the building is just such a beautiful piece of amazing architecture.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning.
To call it a library, however...
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it a library. All the books were actually painted onto the wall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a nice building, I would call it.
Where else have we got wrong?
7-Eleven, we have been told off for filming. When we were filming our 7-Eleven snacks video, we just wanted to get a little bit of B-roll of us buying the stuff, and we weren't allowed to film in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's a private
get
business.
that.
It's probably just company policy, and you know, it's not the end of the world. But I think anyway, to draw a line under this point, I would say that most places you are allowed to film in with very little obstacles, and it feels actually a lot more relaxed being with a camera in public places than, you know, most places.
No, definitely, because I feel like what we were talking about the other day was when we did the parks video, like if we were in England and we were just filming in a park, like people would think we were really, really strange.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, especially like with lots of kids around and things like that, I think people in the West would be very sensitive if you had a camera out in kind of a public place like that that's so full. Or, you know, I feel like you'd almost need to ask people's permission if they were in the background of your shots and things like that. But
here they love it.
Yeah.
They absolutely love it. And they're super interested as well. Whenever we get the camera out or the drone out, you always get some people that, like, come and have a look. Or if we're filming, like, I mean, hopefully you saw our parks video. If not, I'm going to link it here. Last week. And everybody was just so excited to be in the film. They were, like waving at us and saying hello and stuff.
Actually, when we were in Nanjing, in a place, I won't say where, but we were in a certain location and we went to put the drone up. And suddenly a load of guys came out who were clearly kind of, you know, plainclothes police or undercover police, which you'd have in any country around the world in a public place, of course, just kind of keeping an eye on things. And I suddenly was worried, like, okay, I was going to get in trouble. But actually, I think they were just so bored that they just ended up peering over my shoulder, and they were just interested, you know. And that's kind of the so-called undercover police, and they even they had no problem with me filming because I think it was pretty clear that we were
life
just
here as well. Obviously, filming does present some of its problems. I mean, right now, the weather. It's so hot. So
I would say the weather's the biggest challenge in China is the weather.
Especially like us living here in Beijing, it's just such extremes. Like it's so hot. It's the end of August. It's like 30 degrees. There's so many mosquitoes around, and I just literally am getting bit, even though I've got mosquito spray on. And it's not just like the hot weather. Obviously, it gets really cold in Beijing as well. So the batteries freeze.
Yeah, we often have problems with the batteries freezing in China's winters because in northern China it gets pretty cold. I would say the best time filming is obviously spring and autumn, or fall as you'd say in the US, but they're so short. You know, I'm kind of looking forward to autumn right now because it's so hot, but it'll be like a month and then it'll be freezing cold for another 4 or 5 months. So. And
I mean, even if we went any further, imagine if we went to Harbin, like that would present some problems because it's just going to be so cold.
Yeah, for sure.
So cold and so hot. And obviously, we do live in China, so there is one obstacle that we do generally have to overcome, and that is the noise.
The noise, yeah.
China's not a quiet country.
It's not a quiet country, no. 1.4 billion people. It's no wonder.
It can't be quiet. So there's always there's always quite a bit of noise, even if you go to somewhere peaceful or noise-free.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone drilling or building or screaming. Or
I mean, take this
chatting.
canal, for example. This is a lovely canal here, but as we were walking down, we came into the canal looking for somewhere to film. We passed a huge building site with like a huge drill. So like we can't film there. There was another bit. There was like a ton of children.
Can't
no
film
problem with that. But yeah, we can't film there.
Screaming.
And now we sat here in this very little
Waterfall.
peaceful bit. The waterfall's in the background, not ideal. The old woman sat just over there who just keeps spitting. It's quite loud. I hope you guys can't hear that. But, you know, if that's our biggest obstacle, I think we can deal with that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the noise is one thing, but sometimes I feel like when we film, some people are like really excited about the camera and like kind of want to be in it, but I also feel like some people have like absolutely no awareness. Like
Yeah. Case in point, I'm not sure if you heard that.
So, like, obviously we have a camera out, you can see the camera, but there's been times that people have just like walked right into the shot or like in front of me or behind me, and you're just thinking, really?
But I almost think that's quite a good thing, because that means that it shows that people just don't take it seriously, you know, like almost in a way, if people are like kind of just willing to just like walk into the shot you set up or things like that, it shows that they kind of like you filming is not a big deal to them, which means that at least you're not bothering them, which I think is the main thing, because I'm always quite conscious, like for us going around and making YouTube videos, it does make me self-conscious. And if we're in a public space, I want other people to be able to enjoy their time, not feel awkward that we're filming, not feel like we're impeding on them and they've got to keep quiet for us. And they definitely don't have that, you know. I mean,
yeah, lots of people are very comfortable here, and I think that is really good, because like sometimes like it is a bit nerve-wracking. Are we going to get wrong? Are people going to be bothered? But generally they aren't, and so I think it's a really good thing. I mean,
in our last video, the parks video, we discussed and we said that the parks are a judgment-free zone, is what we described them as, and I think that's the thing in China. You know, people are going to watch you, they're going to look at you, they're probably thinking like, you know, maybe what are they doing? I mean, we've got two ladies staring at us right now. But the kind of the moral of the story is, I think there's no real judgment. People just, you know,
people are just interested.
Yeah, get on with
what are these crazy foreigners doing, sitting at the canal with two microphones and a thing. I would be interested too if this was happening in a country as well. So
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, we've spoken about a couple of points there. Do you have anything else to add about filming in China to film?
Actually, there is one point I would like to add. Drones.
Okay. Yeah.
So obviously DJI, which is the world's kind of biggest drone company, they are based in China. Well, they're a Chinese company, but actually there are a lot of areas in China that you can't fly drones for kind of security reasons. Actually, in the whole of Beijing, you can't fly a drone at all, which is kind of difficult. Obviously for us,
it's just a shame.
It is a shame. It's so beautiful, but I think it's just purely for security reasons. And obviously they can enforce it because it's a Chinese company, so your drone physically just won't even take off. And there are kind of huge parts of the country which you can't fly in, but generally in kind of the rural areas, if you're not near like an army base or anything like that, you can get away with it. So that's kind of the main thing.
That's a good point. So like that is one restriction. I think that's probably our biggest restriction, I guess.
Yeah.
Generally, most of the time, people.
But I mean, if that's our biggest restriction, then I think that kind of shows that, you know, we're able to make videos pretty freely. We put a video out every single week.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that speaks for itself. Like moral of the story.
Yeah, it's pretty accessible. A lot more than people seem to think it is anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, so we'll draw out of that. We want to keep it short and sweet and snappy because we don't want to bore you for like 20 minutes or half an hour, an hour going on about stuff. Oh God, I've got.
If there's anything though that you feel like you'd like us to discuss in kind of a more casual way like this, leave a comment below as well.
Yeah.
Because we'd be, you know, we're going to do a few more of these where we just kind of chat about and answer some general questions.
Yeah, definitely.
This wasn't so much answering a question, but I think this was a response to a lot of comments we have had about, you know. And
it's just a general topic, or if there's a topic you want us to discuss, then yeah, feel free, because we want to do a few more like this. Because oh my God, you've got mosquito on your head. It's gone. It's gonna just like suck your blood on your thing.
Filming in China. I'm so itchy. We're gonna call it quits.
Okay,
All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go scratch our mosquito bites.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.